Hey, this is Bill Smith back with another QAnon update. Today there were some big things that happened. Sean Hannity's Twitter page got shut down. It was gone for, I guess, a few hours, and it did pop back up, so we're going to take a look at it. But this is on True Pundit. This is a good site to go look at it. If you don't go here very often, there's a lot of material here that you can check out. This is Sean's Twitter page. Here's the tweet in question. It says, form submission 1649. This is really interesting. There's about like 5 or 6 things this could point to, but there's 2 primary places it does that I feel are more likely or more important. The odd thing is like he just got his Twitter shut down, and people watched it happen in real time. I guess he tweeted this like 3 times. Let's see this new tweet. A lot to say. Thanks for the support, all you deplorable irredeemables. Can't get rid of me that easy. Yep. Monday's a big day. TikTok. Yeah, I think big stuff's about to happen, guys. This is big. This is gonna happen. So this is that form submission. This is I thought this was weird too. Just so I can show you what Twitter's doing. I was just looking at Sean Hannity earlier, and look at the related searches. Like they are trying, they are really trying to misdirect people. You know, just do whatever you can. Do whatever they can to keep you from seeing it. Look at this one, Sean Hannity with an extra N. Oh, there's the parody account. Maybe that's famous. I don't know. First time I've seen it. This is them saying how it's bizarre that he tweeted about that. Daily Mail. Deadline talks about 10 hat. I mean, they're trying to blast us now. Q said they'd be coming out with some disinfo campaign, tossing around the conspiracy label, which we all know was invented by the CIA. This is something I might point to. This is 1649, protection of government property, goods in transit. And I'm gonna talk about this in a second, why this is related. But at the bottom there's 1648, and there's 1650. One points to government checks, one points to Civil Air Patrol. So these are very specific. This talks about goods in transit, 1649. But this is probably what he was alluding to. So in 1649, Charles I faced charges of high treason and other high crimes that began on the 20th of January. He was later executed. And I read somewhere that he was executed. Here we go. He was executed on Tuesday the 30th. January 1649. Now, I think that's Tuesday, right? So that's the State of the Union. And everyone's talking about releasing that memo. Trump signaling that he might maybe talk about it. People thinking he maybe might talk about it. Who knows? But those dates all line up. So there's a lot of interesting double meanings in there. We're going to pop over to Anti-School. Tweeted this out earlier. This is a Q post. Talk about military tribunals. Do you expect Hillary Rodham Clinton, George Soros, Hussein, etc. to stand in a public courtroom with potential crooked judges and tainted, quote, liberal juries? How do you defuse a bomb? Knowledge of which wire strings to cut? So they're talking about cutting strings from the top. I think they're going to go after, I mean, those are the 3 big ones. It says George Soros is going to catch a bullet. So he's on that list. So military tribunal, or military execution. That's where they're headed with these. And they probably can't drag it out, you know. That's obvious. But with Obama lawyering up, he's going to get a trial at the very least. And I imagine this is only the start. You know, they're talking about cutting the strings from the top. There's 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 20 levels to this gigantic pyramid of destruction that they're tearing down. So they're going to start at the top, I think. The rest is going to be a lot easier. Moving past it here. This Q post is talking about how there's kind of a standoff right now. They overheard some chatter, and the people that they want to get, the people they want to bring in and force to stand trial, maybe even question, interview, try to get them to talk a little bit, maybe flip some more information. They're ready to take cyanide, it sounds like. That's what someone's guess is, but it looks like if one person gets harmed, another person gets harmed. It's a standoff. It could be good versus, us versus them. It could be them versus them. I thought that was interesting. Maybe you can write in the comments what you think it is. This is just more stuff about what other people think. Hannity's talking. He's been eviscerating the FBI on his nightly show. He is not pulling any punches. And there's some Q posts that talk about how they're working with a few key people in the media to make sure this stuff gets out. This is what I kind of passed over at the beginning, what he might be alluding to with that form submission, with that goods in transit. So they're saying Prince Alwaleed bin Talal. His nickname by Trump is Dopey, and he's responsible for the Vegas massacre. Shocker. I think most of you already knew that, but if you didn't, there it is. And he's getting moved. So it was important today. I'm not going to show you the articles, but he was released from that Saudi makeshift prison for rich people in that giant Marriott hotel, that 5-star resort hotel. So they shut that thing down, and it looks like round one for people getting cleared out has completed. The rest of the people got shipped off to some prison. Alwaleed, I saw pictures of him walking out of there, but from these Q posts, he walked right back into the custody of the U.S., who extradited him. And that's what this post is talking about. Talking about Black Forest being in Germany. Down here, I'm not going to get too far into this one because I think a commenter did a better job of covering this post. But this and this right here is the answer. So we're going to skip over this right now. But catch and release, safety and security, coincidence. Have you learned how to read the message? So catch and release, I think that was the Saudis trying this guy and milking him for as much money as they could get out of him before they turn him over to the inevitable end, which will happen in U.S. custody. So I think that's safety and security right there. So the Saudis milked him, they let him go. The U.S. picked him up. Now we're ready to move on to step 2, the real deal. This says catch and release, though, is reference to illegals and illegal immigration. I'm going to click on this so you can see it. Maybe I was wrong there. We badly need the wall, must end the loophole of catch and release. So here's a Q post referring back to a presidential tweet. Good stuff. Project Mockingbird. Implosion. Going down. Watch for false flags. Media will want to change the narrative. Stat. The Q post says chatter exploding. Change of narrative will be required. -4, -5. Public to awaken. Mass start. Sleeping pill reject. Operation Mockingbird failure. Fake greater than real. Blind greater than 2020. Kill chain. Where we go one, we go all. It's happening now. Keep rolling through, talking about Snowden coming back. Mr. Contractor. People are saying that he was a CIA plant in the NSA. That's rumor going around right now. Worth talking about in here. Let me go back up to this. It also talks about freedom of the press, John Perry Barlow. I'm not going to go into what those are, but it has to do with the secure file drop for WikiLeaks. And in a previous video, I told you that is how the CIA outed Seth Rich.
is somehow they had access to that secure drop and were able to out Seth Rich through that. So when Seth Rich made his submission, they caught him. That's what happened. And then one of these guys turned up dead. So one of the guys, I think the Marine that, here the next Q post talks about it. So it says, James Dolan, former Marine and co-creator of the whistleblower system Secure Drop, alongside Aaron Schwartz and Wired editor Kevin Poulsen, has died. The Freedom of the Press Foundation, which took over Secure Drop, reports that Dolan, age 36, took his own life. The Freedom of the Press Foundation sounds like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like they're any good. Spooky. I agree. I'm going to skip down to this guy that kind of breaks down this post a little bit better. We'll come back up to that. Where'd it go? Oh, I missed it. I'm going to pause for a second. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why I couldn't find that. So this is the post coverage I was telling you about. It says the D in the brackets stands for dopey. Said, you know what? This isn't the one. Hang on a second. Ha. Okay, I found it. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So this other guy's got another take on it. It says Twitter percentage owned. This is by the Alwaleed bin Talal guy. According to other Anons, he owns 30% of Twitter. I see 5.2% in an article from 2015. I remember Twitter stock was down really far, so it's possible this guy's flush with cash, right? I mean, he's got tons of money, so he may have scooped up more control of the platform. And that kind of coincides with a lot more censorship, really, since 2015. Other ownership stakes in the U.S. He owns Facebook, Google, Citigroup, and more. And I think the and more part is key. Says, what happens if seized? His assets get forfeited to the U.S. Treasury Department. So basically, the Trump administration would be in control of 30% of Twitter, it looks like. Who controls? The CEO or receiver appointed by the U.S. government. Who controls the controllers? Laws in the United States govern the CEO receiver as well as the POTUS. So I imagine freedom of speech applies now? Maybe? Executive Order 1221. That had to do with the seizing of the assets of traders to the U.S. And now I think we got this guy in custody, so it's ours, you know? New puppet master. What? Dopey has been extradited. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Direction to the West, to the United States. Not deal. Dopey had a mugshot, not a release. No choice. He has admitted to planning Las Vegas, so automatic death. Who else was involved in Las Vegas planning and execution? It's what you don't know. The rabbit hole's deep. So I've seen a couple different... This is the one I thought was the best, but I've seen a couple different takes on this. So some of it had to do with like outing some of the other assets he had, I guess. I did find one more thing worth mentioning. This is I was kind of alluding to this post earlier, but you can just see it if you're interested. It says that select news members and journalists are vital to delivering the message to you. Or, sorry, as are you. And imagine if these people were removed. And we just saw that. Hannity just got canned or taken off for a little bit. His feed was shut down. Total control. Said they'd get total control. These people represent a clear and present danger. I would start watching Tucker Carlson. I would pay attention to him. I love Tucker. He's awesome. I'm going to end it here. There's other stuff I wanted to cover, but I don't want to make these too long. And I hope you liked it. I know it's not my best, most organized video, but this is what happened today, and I think it's important to keep up on it. So thanks. I hope you like and subscribe if I did well. Leave me some comments and fill in the gaps if I missed anything. Thanks a lot.